Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Swiss. Moving on to NFL Week 2, Thursday Night Football. We're off to a good start this fall. 3 weeks of college football in the books, 1 week of NFL in the books, and I've been green all four. I know it's not going to stay like that forever, but I'm liking the start. Let's keep that rolling. Real quick, want to give a congratulations to KC Kerback. He won the signed Keenan Allen helmet. I mailed it out yesterday, so by the time you watch this video, you might have it in your hands. It's supposed to be there today. He went 4-0 and had the Eagles at 24 points, so he missed by one. Almost nailed it. Week 2 contest, I'm giving away a signed Drake London USC mini helmet. Same rules apply. Just go on the website and make your 4 picks against the spread. Winner gets the helmet. In this video, like I said, Thursday Night Football, we got Vikings, Eagles. This one's in Philly. Line opened up, Eagles laying an even 7. Totals at 48.5. Let's go.
Welcome to the Swiss. The Swiss. Hey, get the Swiss.
So this line actually got as high as 7.5 earlier in the week, but right now, at the time of recording this, it's sitting at an even 7 on basically every single sports book. And we got a pros versus public setup here. Public definitely leaning Philadelphia. Sharp action definitely in on the Vikings. But ever since 7, if you look at the pattern as this week progresses, seems like the action seems to be coming in trending towards Philly.
Update. So right after I finished recording this line dropped. It's at 6 at most books now, 6.5 hanging in there. Result of the Eagles injury news, which we'll get to in a second.
Well, we got to start with the Eagles offense from week 1. I know everyone's talking about it. Just 251 total yards against the Patriots last week. That's 153 less yards than their average per game last season. And it's the second fewest yards we've seen in the game from the Eagles since Nick Sirianni took over as head coach in 2021. Jalen Hurts averaged 8.0 yards per pass attempt last season, just 5.2 in the opener, and the offense only scored 1 touchdown. Now, the Eagles definitely deserve some slack here. They opened up the season on the road in Gillette against New England. As I said in last week's video, Patriots defense is as legitimate as it gets. This is the second best rated pass defense in the NFL last year, so I don't think there's any reason to be concerned about Jalen Hurts or the pass game. The 3.9 yards per carry may be a little bit concerning. The Eagles run game was the best in the NFL last year. Patriots front 7 is good, but I wouldn't call it elite. I thought the Eagles should have been able to run the ball more efficiently than that. But I got some good news for Philly. They get to come back home and play the Vikings on a short week here. And I know the Vikings won their division last year, but that defense was awful. 30th in yards per play allowed, 30th in yards per pass attempt allowed, 26th in DVOA against the pass, 19th in DVOA against the run. This was not a good defense last year. That being said, the Vikes defense did look pretty good in week 1. Actually, more than pretty good. They looked good in week 1. That was against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. It was the offense that lost that game for the Vikings. At halftime, the score was 10-10. Tampa Bay had just 3 first downs. How do you give up 10 points in the half and only allow 3 first downs? But that was week 1, and like I said, it was against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks offense. I'm not going to let one good performance against a bad offense fool me into thinking the Vikings defense will be good this year. Philly should be able to move the ball and score points easily in this game. If the Eagles struggle to move the ball and score points in this game, then maybe I could start having the conversation of being a little concerned with the offense, but not after week 1. And since we're talking about the Eagles-Patriots game from last week, there's another thing I want to mention. Yeah, Mac Jones did throw for 316 yards and 3 touchdowns, but he dropped back to pass 54 times. 54. That's just 5.85 yards per attempt. That's not good at all. Was I expecting a little more from the Eagles pass rush? Maybe a little bit, but you know what? In the fourth quarter, they got 2 huge sacks to seal the game. And also, as I mentioned last week, the Patriots offense this year under Bill O'Brien, I expect to be much better than what we saw last year. So I actually expect the Patriots offense to be somewhat decent this year. I don't think the Eagles defense had a bad performance at all. Now, real quick, I want to mention, I know it's Kirk Cousins in a primetime game. You'll probably see it all over Twitter. It's one of those narratives that always gets spread around. But that really doesn't apply to Thursday Night Football. On Monday Night Football, he's been terrible, but he's actually been pretty solid on Thursday Night Football, winning 3 straight. Kirk Cousins has played in 9 Thursday Night Football games in his career, and he's 4-5 straight up and 4-1 against the spread. So not nearly as bad as you think. And actually, if you filter it to just his road starts on Thursday Night Football, his numbers have been excellent. He's made 4 starts on the road in Thursday Night Football. In those 4 starts, he's thrown for 1,438 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 picks with a 99.5 passer rating. Now for the kicker, the Vikings are 0-4 in those 4 games. This is just 1-2-1 against the spread. So the Vikings lost the games, but it wasn't Kirk Cousins' fault. The issue was a dreadful defense. Those 4 games had an average of 58 total points scored in them. His defense allowed 35 points per game in those 4. But anyway, let's get back to the Vikings offense, because good lord, they looked bad last week. Just 17 carries for 41 yards rushing. Wow. Now, the Bucs should have a good defense this year, especially against the run, so let's give them some credit, but that's crazy. 41 yards rushing on the ground at home? What the hell is that? And I was all worried about the Eagles' run defense last week against New England. Patriots didn't really do shit on the ground. Just 22 carries for 76 yards rushing. Look, I expect Alex Madison to get it going, and I expect them to move the chains on the Eagles a bit, but what we saw last week does not give me a ton of confidence. Now, I do need to cut Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings offense a little bit of slack for last week. Kevin O'Connell has always struggled against Todd Bowles-led defenses. In his 3 games as OC for the Rams, team combined for just 141 yards rushing on 55 carries. That's 2.6 yards per carry. So I think it'd be irresponsible to just completely write the Vikings run game off based on 1 game against Todd Bowles, a guy he always struggles against. And we do have to mention the Eagles' injury, specifically on the defensive side. That corner, Bradbury, he had a concussion. He has not practiced this week. Safety Blankenship, he has not practiced this week. And inside linebacker Nakobe Dean, he's definitely not going to play. Also, Kenneth Gainwell hasn't practiced this week. Now, as far as the Eagles run game go, it's kind of plug and play. Whoever they put in there can work, but thought it was worth mentioning.
Update, like I said earlier, these guys are definitely out now. It's confirmed that they are not playing in this game.
Vikings have a significant injury as well on the offensive side of the ball. They're most likely going to be without their center, Garrett Bradbury. He was a first-round pick by them. He's big. He's a big part of that line. Most likely not playing, but Darius Shaw, the left tackle, he's participated in limited practice. I think he is going to play. But still, even without Bradbury at center for the Vikings, I think it's unrealistic to say the Eagles defense is just going to shut the Vikings down. You got an offense that we know is talented, coming off a dreadful performance on the big stage, prime time. I could see them scoring points on the Eagles here. Before we get to the bet, got an underdog pick him in from Prop Beaver himself. He's been hot with these. He hit a 5-piece McNugget last week, hit a 5-piece. He's got a 3-pick here for this game. Jalen Hurts higher than half, so that's the promo. Jalen Hurts higher than half passing yards, so that's a bonus leg. TJ Hockenson higher than 4.5 receptions. Kirk Cousins higher than 1/2 interception. So obviously that's a 2-pick with a bonus, so that's a 6-time payout. If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account and you're located in one of the states highlighted in yellow here, go on Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. Get your $100 deposit bonus. You deposit $100, they'll give you a free $100 to play with. So what am I betting in this game? Well, I like points, as you probably deciphered from my notes. I like points in this game. I'm on the over. It was at 48. It's up to 49. I still like it. Definitely on the 49. As far as picking a side, I guess I'm on the Eagles. I mean, I don't feel comfortable taking the 7 with the Vikings. I think the Eagles are going to score 35-plus points in this game, so I'll take the over at 49, and I'll most likely end up taking the Eagles as well. If you want my top bets, parlay of the day, if you'd like to join the Discord, for Thursday Night Football, obviously it won't be parlay of the day. I'll do a same-game parlay for the day. If you're interested in that stuff, head over to KyleKirms.com. NFL Week 2, let's get it started properly, just like we did last week. That Lions +4 or whatever it was, and the under. Great start to the week. I'm looking to start this week the exact same way. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.